What's happening, good people? Welcome to the channel. I'm Wes, aka Mr. Budget Watch, and today we're going to be doing an episode of Watch Wars. So we have 10 rounds, 10 points per round, winner, most at the end. Now you'll probably seen the review of this and probably this one on the channel as well. And both of them are very similar in price. This one's around 70, this one you can find it for around 80ish, but which is actually better? So we usually start off with design first, and that's what I'm going to do. So I've actually scored them around the same, with just like sort of half a point difference, just in favour of the Steeldive. And the reason for that is, well, I'm just thinking it's a little bit more polished on the design front. The Pagani looks really nice. I like the the Pepsi bezel, I like the black dial, I like the red accents, but the hands, they're just too small, and that was a big complaint I had in the review. This one though, it's more refined, it's been around a lot longer, and they've definitely sort of nailed it. This one definitely needs some improvement on that front, but they're both nice looking watches. This just needs that hand upgrade, and I think then of course it would be a little bit closer, maybe in favour of the Pagani, but for now the Steeldive takes it. But again, design is really subjective. Build and finish, I've actually give the edge slightly to the Pagani, surprise, surprise. So this one is, 316L throughout, and it's a really solid watch, but we do have an issue with that. But yeah, build and finishing, it's really nice. We've got a polished sides, brush top, and then we've got a little accent. Really nice feeling bezel as well. I mean, you can just listen. I mean, it's not as, well polished as the thingy, but overall, it's just a little bit better finished, a little bit better made. The watch, not the bracelet, but we'll come to that in a minute. The watch on this one, again, it's really nice and solid. Pretty similar finish apart from the accent. Screw down crown, bolster crown guards, and again, a nicer feeling bezel. A little bit more robust, which is why, it's so close. There's only a sort of half a point difference between them. So now we get on to the biggest difference, the bracelet. Now this one is not perfect either, but I have given it the win because of the problem with this one. So this one I complained in the review that I do have, you can see a bit of end link wobble. It's fine. A lot of not other people have that issue, but I'm just unlucky. All brushed, really nice. You do, however, get a pressed clasp on this one. This is an aftermarket upgrade. But the press clasp is, it's basically the same, apart from it's pressed on here rather than milled. But yeah, it's basically the same, 3 micro adjusts. So yeah, bracelet though is nice, good articulation, decent finishing, and it's all right. But this one is, better in ways. So we've got no end link wobble. You can see it's a lot more tighter on its tolerances. The finishing is better. So we've got a polished accent and brushed everywhere else. We've also got a milled clasp, really good quality. But you can see the issue, that little thing. I did actually get that pushed back in, but it's popped back out again. So you can see now the clasp is useless. So if I fasten that, and I try to close it, you can see it don't close. So this clasp is pretty much, as nice as it is and as well done as it is, it's useless. I think the problem is they've used a spring bar to hold it together. And what they've done is there's a little flange on it, and I think that flange is just a little bit too small, and it's popped out of the hole. And every now and then it'll go back in, and then it'll just pop straight back out. And leaves it useless. So if we're going to thingy this one, I'd definitely have to swap out the clasp, which you shouldn't really have to do. But there you go, this is why this one has not scored as well as the Steeldive, even though technically it's a better bracelet. It's just broke. So moving on to the comfort, and I actually give the edge to the Steeldive on this occasion, and there is one reason. The bracelet, I would actually give the edge slightly to Pagani, but this one just wears a little bit better on the watch. It just sits a little bit nicer on wrist, it's a little bit more comfortable for me on wrist, and it fits a little bit better, surprisingly, as well. Even though they're very similar in size, this one just seems to wear nicer. Not really sure why though. But yeah, another reason why this one won is because it's a little bit lighter. This one, it's just, a little bit sort of top heavy. I think the bracelet is a little bit lighter than the Steeldive one, so it's not as well balanced on wrist. And this one, you know, just wears a little bit top heavy. So that is the reason why, you know, the Steeldive has just taken the edge on this round. Moving on to the Lume, and this one is just a massive walk away for the Steeldive. You know, you've seen the Pagani's Lume, it's not great at all. It's really one of their worst performing actually, which is a real disappointment because there's so much space to pack Lume in. They've just chosen not to. Whereas the Steeldive, you know, these are often praised as one of the best Lume watches at its price point. And to be honest, I don't think I've seen better Lume at this price point. It even, I think did it draw or did it slightly win against the San Martin? Did it win? I think it actually came just a little bit just because the colour mismatch and stuff, I wasn't a personal fan. And I think the San Martin just edged it a little bit. But this Lume is fantastic and it blows that one away. So Pagani could definitely learn a thing or two about Lume from Steeldive. So moving on to the movement, both of these are using a Seiko NH35, so there's no difference and they both score exactly the same. So then we get on to the water resistance, and both of these have claimed 200 meters. Again, claimed because, you know, they've not been verified like Seiko's. They verify theirs on their prospects lines. These aren't, so that's why it's, you know, claimed 200 meter. So they both score exactly the same. As for availability for these watches, I've scored them the same as well. And this one is available on AliExpress. There's a few stores that sell it. There's also their own store, I believe, now. And you can get them on Amazon. These are all over on AliExpress. Multiple stores have them. I'm not sure if they don't have quite a few of their own different websites as well. I don't think this one's available on Amazon, but you can get Pagani as a brand on Amazon. So I've scored them pretty much the same because they're really easy to get a hold of if you need to. Now we get on to brand, and I've actually given the slight edge to the Steeldive. And the reason is, I think these are just known for making better quality watches at a lower price point than Pagani. Especially when it comes to this one in particular. This is such a great bang for buck, and this is probably what the company, you know, really sort of got known by the community, is this watch, just because of how good it is. Now Pagani, you know, they've got a decent rep as well for building good watches, but in my eyes now, I think they're really hurting their own reputation because they're just not fixing their issues that they've got with these watches. And I said that in my review, and I'm going to stand by it. They definitely need to address that because, yeah, it's just not good, to be honest. And I think they're damaging their reputation for making quality watches when, you know, in fact, it's the opposite of that now, let's just say. So yeah, that's why Steeldive, you know, takes it on brand. Now we get to price, the final category, and I'm giving it to the Steeldive, of course. It's cheaper, and in just about near enough every way, it's better. I mean, of course, the Pagani is better in ways, but this, as just a whole package overall, is definitely the superior sort of value. You definitely get a better bang for your buck. It's basically got better lume, same movement, same water resistance, a nicer feeling bezel, more comfortable, and it's cheaper. And yeah, what more can you want, really? The Pagani though is, you know, it could be amazing value. These ones are pushing around £80 when I actually got mine for review. I'm not really sure if they've crept up a little bit or not, but this one has potential. Sort this bracelet out, give it some better lume, and it will be a cracking watch. And the hands as well need making a bit bigger, but this will be amazing value for money as well if they just sorted out its little issues. So the winner today is the Steeldive, and it's by quite a decent margin actually. Like I said, this is just a better bang for the buck watch. Like I said, it's cheaper, better in quite a lot of ways, worse in a few little areas, but this is definitely the watch I would go with out of these two. It's just better, even though you don't get a milled clasp. You can buy one of these and a milled clasp, and it's still cheaper than the Pagani. So yeah, take that as you will, but this for me is the winner today. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. And of course, follow me on social media at Mr. Budget Watch. Thanks again. I'll see you soon.